everyone. I'm Dr. Shokooh Miry. I'm a psychologist and I serve as San Francisco's Commissioner on the Status of Women. I'm also a very proud AOII. I'm really excited to be here for Women's Wellness Week, and I'm going to be presenting today a session called Emotional Fitness and Self-Care During Hard Times. I'm hoping that our shared time together will be a great opportunity for you to pick up some tips and some suggestions based on research of things you can do to take really good care of yourself and keep your emotions balanced during this really difficult challenge. So emotional fitness and self-care during hard times. It turns out that the first step is really about grief and acceptance. So I want to encourage you to take time to consider that what you're feeling might actually be grief. I say that not to make you feel worse, but if you can grieve what you've lost, then you can start to feel better. So things are different, and some things truly have changed, either temporarily or possibly even permanently. And if you can identify that, if you can name it, then you're likely going to be able to take steps to change it. It turns out in psychology that one thing we know for sure is validating a feeling is the first step toward understanding it and changing it. So I encourage you to show yourself the same kindness that you would show a loved one. Accept the feelings rather than fight them. If you think about grief, you probably recognize that if someone you loved was going through grief, you would be patient with them and offer support and kindness and validation and encourage them to take time until they feel differently. And it turns out all of that is true for you as well. So if you frame this time as a time of grief, you might be able to invite gentleness, emotional fitness, and your best self. Accepting your emotions is key to changing them. So remember, frame this as a time of loss so that you can understand why you're struggling, you can invite and accept support, and you can identify and improve your own self-care. If you're patient with yourself and with others, you'll get through this in a much easier way. So now the hard part. I feel terrible, and I've accepted that. Now what do I do? So self-care is really important, year-round, all the time, but it's especially important during hard times when we're more vulnerable to things like depression, intense sadness, and loneliness. So the first thing I want to encourage you to do is remember that there is such a thing as healthy distraction. In our culture, we often think about distraction as a negative thing. We say, don't get distracted or keep your focus. But during this crisis, it's really important to recognize that thinking and worrying about the current situation 24 hours a day is not healthy for anybody. And it's totally okay, in fact, really healthy, to distract yourself in healthy ways. One way you can do this is to soothe your body and your mind. Some people like listening to music. Others like to call a friend and have a conversation, to watch a TV show that might shift your mood a little bit. All these are great ways to take care of yourself. Remember also that this can be a powerful time to connect with your values and the people in your life that really matter to you. If there's something in your life that gives you a sense of meaning and purpose, I encourage you to use this time as a time to connect with it, to do that thing, to see those people, and to keep repeating until time passes or you feel better, or both. Remember to reach out for help if you need it. Emotional fitness is really about knowing when I feel bad and being willing to do the things that might make me feel better. So part of how I talk about this in my practice with patients is to think about values exploration. Who am I? When I look back on this time, in 5 years and 10 years, what is the story I want to tell about how I managed it or how I handled it? Remember that a life of some structure and routine, not too much, don't overwhelm yourself, but some structure and routine tends to be a healthier life. Remember that you feel better during hard times if you can do the things that take care of your mind as well as your body. I tell people to remember my rule of 15. If you're feeling bad, if you're feeling super vulnerable, try to sleep an additional 15 minutes a day. Try to spend an additional 15 minutes outdoors. Try to move your body for 15 minutes more. Connect with a sister or a friend. Do it for 15 minutes. If you're drinking alcohol, drink 15% less. Do all of these things as often as you can and be patient and gentle with yourself until things feel better. The last thing I want to share with you as a tip is to remember ritual. To remember that whatever your core values are, for me, a lot of it has to do with AOII's ritual, that they're there for you, whether times are easy or times are hard. And that by tapping into those core values, you have a guide for how to treat yourself and others during this really difficult time. I thank you for being in community together. I hope that these tips have proven helpful to you, and I wish you all the best for health and wellness.